these topics. We now move over to Europe for our next story, where France has been brought to a standstill today as more than 250 demonstrations sweep across the country in protest against looming budget cuts. Unions say some 800,000 people have joined the strike, disrupting trains, schools and even pharmacies, with 90% shutting their doors. Teachers, train drivers, hospital staff and pharmacists were moving among those who went on strike as part of the day of protests, while teenagers blocked dozens of high schools. Meanwhile, tensions flared in Lyon, where police fired tear gas at masked protesters, leaving a journalist and an officer injured. Union leaders hailed the strike as a success, while Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu against pushing ahead with austerity measures first floated by the ousted François Bayrou. Protesters even stormed the finance ministry in Paris, demanding the state tax the rich instead of slashing public services. Okay, we're now joined by our guest, Andrew Latham, who is a professor of international relations, and he joins us live from Minneapolis. Thank you very much, Andrew, for joining us here on the program. Andrew, France is no stranger to protests, but also is, of course, no stranger to a change of Prime Minister, the fifth Prime Minister in the space of 2 years. What does this say about the political stability of the French government right now?
Well, in one sense, the French government, the regime, is perfectly solid. President Macron has been in power now for years. His prime ministers come and go with alarming frequency. But the other thing that it says, of course, about France is that it has both a long tradition of protest, going back to the French Revolution, obviously. This is the fifth republic now, and republics have often been brought down by this kind of popular mobilization, people in the streets, as it were. But this particular one also is testament, this particular protest is testament to the embeddedness of the French welfare state and the unwillingness of the French population to countenance or put up with any policy that cuts back on that welfare state, that undermines the welfare state, that reduces its scope and generosity. Among the issues that are on the table here were the last prime minister, the previous prime minister, suggesting that mandatory vacation time be cut. The French are entitled to something like 45 days a year, and you tack that onto long weekends and bridge them and whatnot, and you get a lot of vacation time. And that's costing a lot of money in terms of opportunity costs, lost labor, etc. And then there are other suggested cuts, because it's very expensive to run the French welfare state, which is why calls for taxing the rich rather than cutting services are resonating so powerfully. So this moment is a reflection of some very deeply embedded French cultural structures and traditions. And if I were President Macron, I would not be inclined to ignore them.
Yes, Andrew, do stay with us. We have some updates from the United States coming up next. ABC has